Alright, what's going on, guys? We are back for this Fishing Planet event, 4th of July event. I guess before we actually, I guess we'll do this one step at a time. Before we get to this, um, I can't actually get to the mission, the very first mission for this event, it seems. But the first thing that you gotta do is you gotta travel to Emerald Lake. Alright, and we want to go ahead and go to the boat dock. I mean, the two places are pretty close together, so it doesn't really matter which one you travel to. Alright, and then first off, you're going to want to come over here, and there's this flagpole that you can get a gift from every day. I ended up getting fireworks today. I don't know what all the different things are that you can get. I imagine there's probably baits and stuff like that. You can get cannonballs, and you can shoot the cannon here. Let's just go ahead and do that. I think I got a cannonball from doing the first mission. You know what? We'll do this when we come back. Now, the first thing that you're supposed to do after you get here is you're supposed to find George Washington's statue. So you want to hop in your boat or your kayak, whatever you got. You want to jet over here. There's going to be this little dock here. And if we get close enough, should be able to, there we go, go to shore. And here's the George Washington statue. So once you get here, that's the first part of the quest, and then you'll get these other missions that pop up. I believe you get a cannonball from doing that, and a bait coin, maybe some cash. I'm not sure about the cash. And then you get fish tag coordinates 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Of course, you're supposed to fire 50 cannon balls during this event. We got to get 6 sword shard fragments. I mean, main thing is we're supposed to restore Washington's sword blade. We got to restore the statue. We got to find a treasure map and find the Independence treasure. Right now, we're just focused on, the very beginning. And I think these different fish tag coordinates are for different areas. The one we're doing now is for Emerald Lake. And then there's the Nairn Rocky and Falcon, and then just so on and so forth. We'll kind of get to those as we go along. But first off, we got to catch 6 prehistoric northern pike using the Patriotic Walker, half ounce number 3. And we got to catch 5 historic walleye using the rattlesnake worm number 4. Now you can buy these in the shop, of course. You don't even have to leave the lobby. The Patriotic Walker is pretty expensive at 40 bait coins. The rattlesnakes, and that's just for one. The rattlesnake worms are pretty cheap. Just 5 coins for 10. And it's one of those, it doesn't get consumed just by catching one fish or anything. You hold on to it until you lose it pretty much. Now I've already gone through a Patriotic Walker, not realizing that we want to have a titanium leader. The fish just bit my line off, which fishing at Michigan, as long as I should have known better. The northern pike have some teeth. So I was using the Value Spin 7'6" with 6-pound line, I believe, and it seemed like it wasn't, like, it was taking a while to reel in the northern pikes. So I switched up to the Aurora 6'3". I've got 8-pound line on with a, what's this, a Prima 3000, and of course a 7-pound titanium leader. Always try to make sure that my fishing pole and my reel are like the 2 most heavy duty components of my fishing setup. Preferably the fishing pole is the most extreme as far as capabilities go, and then the reel right behind it. It's always cheaper to buy more line than it is to buy a new fishing pole or a new reel if they break. So that's my setup for the northern pike, and then my setup for the walleye is the Value Spin 8.6. This is what I was using for the pike, but it seemed like I was able to reel in the walleye a lot easier with this, so that's why I went ahead and got the Aurora, right? Yeah, the Aurora 6.3. So yeah, this nothing real fancy, just 7.5-pound line weight rod, capable of doing a 1/4 to 3/4 ounce lure weight. What we have on it is we've got a 1/4 ounce jig head number 2, and of course our rattlesnake worm number 4, or 4/0, or whatever you want to call it. 6, the Espira Slim 2500 on max drag is 6.4 pounds. I've just got a 6-pound weight or line on this, which I don't even have more of on me. I should have probably grabbed some more of that. In any case, let's go check out our little fishing spot. So I probably should have went ahead and traveled here first, so that it would have been easier to just fast travel back. Anyway, like I said, it's not far. Actually, we wanted to shoot this anyway, so let's go ahead and shoot this. Better luck next time. Does that mean I didn't get anything? Like, I guess you're capable of getting stuff from that. Like I said, I think the event just started today, so a lot of this is new to me too. Okay, so we're going to start off, since it's daytime, we're going to go ahead and pull out the Aurora 6.3, and we're going to try to catch one of those northern pike. I like to just it's harder to tell in the daytime, but there's kind of two more yellowish trees, kind of brighter than the rest, that I'm casting between here. I just personally, I like this fishing spot. I've always liked this fishing spot since I first fished here. And this was one of the places that I fished at the most for XP when I was leveling up early game. As far as the retrieve, I mean, you just want to cast out as far as you can. I just noticed that this fishing pole doesn't seem like it can go very far, which isn't great. I like to be as far out as possible, especially on these retrieves, so that you kind of have more time to get a fish bite. I think 94 will probably be fine though. And basically, you just want to do kind of a lift and drop technique. It's basically the way I put it. Oh, it helps if you're actually reeling in. Also, just be careful with your setup. You know, you don't want to lose. This is a 40 bait coin freaking patriotic walker, so you kind of want to be careful. You don't want to have the drag set too high and lose it. Make sure to have your titanium leader on. And as you see, just doing kind of this lift and drop technique, you kind of just reel in a little bit, you know, do 1, 2, maybe 3 spins, and then lift up and continue the process. Stop reeling in between each lift, and you can see the retrieve is walking. It doesn't really matter. It can be like 1 or 2 speed. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't really matter. As you can see, I've only really caught 1, so maybe it's better at 2 speed or something like that. You just kind of want to test it out, I guess. See how it feels. See kind of what gives you the best returns. I think we're gonna crank the reel speed up to 2. This is my first time actually using this rod, so I'm not entirely set on this setup. I might end up switching back to the value spin. And just using the value spin for both. But I was thinking that this rod could probably reel them in a little bit faster. And you just kind of want to be patient. There you go. Look at that. Looks like we can crank it up 1 more on the drag. I'm guessing this is probably one of them. It looks like it's doing a little bit better than the value spin was. Maybe I shouldn't talk so soon. With the value spin, I fought the northern pike for a good 5 minutes. Looks like this guy's still putting up a little bit of a fight. Definitely not as rough of a time. But just keep that in mind. If you're having issues and you want to reel them in a little bit faster, you might want to try to get a little bit better equipment. I feel like this is kind of the best equipment that I found that wasn't like over 10-pound line weight and stuff like that. Which basically, like, the lower the quality equipment you have, the more XP you get for the fish that you're catching. If you came in here with like a level 50 rod, that you wouldn't get any XP really for these guys. It'd be kind of you'd get a lot less XP than if you used something like this. Which isn't really necessarily a bad thing as far as using the value spin for doing both. This guy's definitely putting up a fight still. Alright, there he is. And as you see, they don't give you any cash. This gave me about the same XP that it gave me using the value spin, so I guess that's not too bad. Being that you don't get any cash, it doesn't look like you get any bait coins for it. You're probably okay going ahead and just releasing them rather than having it take carry weight, so you can sit here and fish for longer if you don't have a crazy big keep net like I do. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this guy because I'm not positive if there's like a hidden factor that I'm not seeing yet. I don't think there is. You're probably okay just releasing him, but in any case, we'll go ahead and try to catch one more, and then we'll switch over to the walleye. Which actually, out of curiosity, I want to see if one of my other fishing poles can do this setup. This 3/4. Yeah, it doesn't look like it can, so I'll just continue with this. I definitely like the value spin more for cast distance. Like I said, I feel like the longer you're in the water doing the retrieve, the more chances you have of catching them fish. I think I just saw that guy's fish and thought there was one about to bite mine. There we go. They definitely put up a little bit of a fight. All right. Okay. So once again, I just want to kind of reiterate that you want to make sure to have a titanium leader with this for the patriotic walker. And then you want to have a jig head for the rattlesnake worm. Now you could probably go with a ½ ounce. I just went ahead and went with the 1/4 ounce because you can actually buy that here. Let's see, where was it? I guess a 1/3 ounce probably wouldn't be bad either. It's probably honestly not a bad idea to go with a titanium leader for both. As you can see, I'm using a titanium leader for both. It just kind of keeps you from losing your line, getting your line bitten off from fish with teeth. And I mean, the rattlesnake worms, it's not as bad because you get 10 of those. But like I said, I had to pay, I think it's like 5 coins for those 10 also. And then this patriotic walker, I already had to pay for a second one, and that's 40 bait coins a piece. Now you can probably get them from the flagpole that I showed you in the beginning. But it's kind of just, you know, are you actually going to be able to catch it or not? We don't want to leave area. Are you actually going to be able to get that as a reward when you need it? Which, I mean, if you don't have any bait coins, then you kind of stuck waiting for it. But anyway, let's move on to these walleye. But you want it to be nighttime for walleye. 9 p.m. we're going to fast forward to. And then, as you can kind of tell a little bit more now, that there's kind of like, right where I'm aiming, like right where the tip of my pole is kind of right in between kind of 2 more brighter yellowish trees. It's pretty much where I like to aim for both of these, and you just cast out as far as you can. And as you see, this pole casts out quite a bit, basically twice as far as the Aurora, which it might not be a bad idea to just use this pole for both, especially if you're kind of strapped on cash. And then it's just the same retrieve, just lift and drop. You don't have to wait for it to hit the bottom. It'll say twitching, but it's not a big deal. You can even get away with a stop and go, but I feel like the lift and drop kind of gives me the most success. So we'll go ahead and see if we can catch a couple of these. Look at that. There's one right now. It definitely seems to me like the further you cast out, the more likely you are to get a bite. But once again, I feel like that's just kind of time in the water perspective. And as you can tell, these are a little bit easier to reel in, not fighting it for dear life. Which, even if I was catching the northern pike with this pole, I'd still be fighting for dear life. Oh, that's just a regular one. I'm not too worried about it. I caught the last one with this setup at this time of night, these exact circumstances, so I don't know how often it is that you won't end up catching what you want, but I don't really see it being enough of a significance to try to find a different fishing location. it's another regular one, huh? Let's see what's going on in chat. Yeah, it looks like it's just not quite a guarantee that you're gonna get the historic version. So if you're not getting the historic version right away, you know, don't let it get you down. Just keep trying at it. Getting a decent amount of bites. There we go. Now see, they got that little tag on them too. Which, let's take another look at this. Event. Historic fish tag. Okay, we won't worry too much about that right now. See if we can catch one more really quick. I like to, when the lure, the rattlesnake worm or whatever you're using is like going down to the bottom, I kind of like to do a stop and go, and then when it hits the bottom I start doing the lift and drop. You don't always catch stuff when you're just doing the stop and go while it's on its way down, but sometimes you do. And you pretty much want to wait for it to get to the bottom before you start your lift and drop technique, or it's just going to start twitching. Which I've caught stuff while it's twitching too, but I honestly might just start using this pull for both, because I'm not really impressed with the cast distance on the Aurora 6.3, and I don't really want to get any more like of a heavy duty pull setup, because like I said, it's going to knock down your experience. Which might not necessarily be a bad thing if you're trying to rush it, but just all things to take account of. These guys really aren't giving me what I want. Lake is being stingy right now. Alright, this lake's making me look bad. This must be just a bad fishing time, because, yeah. This is... Usually doesn't take this long. Alright, come on, be what I want. Nope. This guy's got my hopes up. He's being a little bit of a fighter. Yep. That's him. Well, there it is. As you can see, it takes a little bit sometimes to get the fish that you want, but we got it. Alright. Take one last look at the equipment. Like I said, I'm using the Value Spin 8'6". You can use this for both. In fact, I almost might suggest it at this point. Either that or get something better. Not the Aurora. The Aurora isn't like enough of a change to really make a difference, and the extra cast distance will probably help you catch them a little bit faster. You want to make sure to have your jig head, make sure you have your titanium leader. Make sure to get your patriotic walker and your whatever worm this is. Rattlesnake worm. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope this helped. Next up, we will probably be tackling fish coordinates 2 at Lone Star, Mudwater, and Nairn, which it looks like we'll be having to get a couple bit more baits for. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll give you an update on, I mean, we're probably gonna, I imagine we're getting fish coordinates after we're done catching these, so I'll probably try to pop in whatever outcome that leads to in the next video also, but I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me catch these next couple fish. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Catch you on the next one. Peace out.